We all know that objects of different masses falling from a same height takes the same time to fall on the ground. This is because Newton's laws of equations are independent of mass. But now we are going to do an experiment where our friend is going to lift a very bigger mass equivalent to 100 kgs to height of 0.5 meters to check the time taken for the fall. We are going to camera from one side when our friend is going to lift the mass and help us with the experiment. And on slowing down the video, the time taken for the fall is found to be 0.3125 seconds. And using the time and the height, we can calculate the acceleration due to gravity to be 10.24 meter per second square. And from this, what we can understand? We can say that time taken is faster for the fall of a very bigger mass, which means acceleration due to gravity is greater than 10 meter per second square for a bigger mass, so that the object falls faster than expected. Now let's see integral of 1 by root x dx in the interval 0 to 1. Integral of 1 by root x dx in the interval 0 to 1 is done in backward summation using Riemann integration. During backward summation, we summate all the strips between 0 to 1 with the width dx and n such strips, n into dx being 1. So integral of 1 by root x dx, the interval 0 to 1 is equal to summation of area of all these strips. Area of the first strip is 1 by root 0 plus dx into dx. Second strip being 1 by root 2 dx into dx, width of the strip, so on. This implies integral of 1 by root x dx in the interval 0 to 1 is equal to 2 square units. As n tends to infinity. But when we look at the area above the first strip in the integral of 1 by root x dx, this area A1 has to be included in the summation, as the area A1 lies below the graph. If we magnify this part and see, this is the topmost horizontal line of the first strip. This is the graph of the 1 by root x with near infinite slope above the first strip. The angle between the graph and this line, theta, is greater than 45 degree and very near 90 degree for the first strip. This implies area A1 and area A2. Area A1 below the graph, area A2 above the graph, and between this parallel line to y-axis, x equal to dx. When we compare these two areas, area A1 is greater than or equal to area A2. Since the graph and the topmost line of the first strip is including an angle very close to 90 degree. This implies area A1 is equal to infinite square units. Since the strip area above the first strip is having infinite square units and area A1 is greater than or equal to area A2, area A1 must be infinite square units. When we include this area A1 under the graph to the previous integration, the integration becomes 2 plus A1, which implies infinite square units. Therefore, integral of 0 to 1 by root x dx is equal to infinite square units. And we should also learn that integral of a to b 1 by root x dx is equal to 2 root b minus 2 root a, only when the x in the closed interval a to b does not tend to 0. Using this theory in the integration, we are going to integrate and find the force due to a solid sphere of mass m at a distance a from the center of the sphere. Now we are going to find the force experienced by a point mass at a distance a from the center of solid sphere of radius r. Gravitational force experienced by a unit mass. To find the force experienced by a unit mass through this entire solid sphere, we should do integration step by step from due to a point, due to a ring, due to a shell, and then finally the solid sphere. So during this integration, we will be using integral of 1 by root x dx is equal to 2 root x, the condition being x should not tend to 0. When x tends to 0, the integration becomes infinite. Force due to a point mass m acting on a unit mass at a distance a is equal to gm by a square. The same thing when we do for a ring. At a distance a, the force is equal to g m a by a square plus r square whole power 3/2. Now when we are about to find the force due to a shell at a distance a from the center of the shell, we have to integrate the shell as multiple rings of thickness r d theta and radius r sin theta. Mass of the small ring dm is equal to m by 4 pi r square, unit mass, into 2 pi circumference of the ring is 2 pi r sin theta into thickness of the ring is r d theta, which equals m by 2 sin theta d theta. Small force due to this ring at the distance a is equal to g mass of the ring m by 2 sin theta d theta into this distance, which is equal to a minus r cos theta. Divided by plus radius of the ring whole power. Now force due to the entire sphere or distance a from the center of the sphere can be found using the integral of df from 0 to pi, where the df is the force due to this ring. Now we are going to integrate all the rings from 0 to pi. During this integration, we are substituting cos theta is equal to t minus on differentiating on both sides, plus sin theta d theta is equal to dt, and when substituting it we get cos 0 is 1 minus 1 gm by 2 sin theta d theta is dt, cos theta is t, and the whole denominator becomes a minus rt the whole square plus rt the whole square, where you finally get a square minus 2a rt plus r square sin square theta 1 minus cos square theta 1 minus t square, this plus r square t square both gets cancelled. Finally we get a square minus 2rt plus r square whole power 3 by 2. Impossible. After this we are going to substitute a square minus 2art plus r square is equal to u, which implies minus dt is equal to du, and t is equal to 1 implies u is equal to a minus r the whole square, t is equal to minus 1 implies u is equal to a plus r the whole square. And on substituting a square plus r square minus 2at as u, minus 2art pass panna. On substituting a square plus r square minus 2art as u, we get the substitution of t as this, and the denominator is u power 3 by 2, and dt becomes du by minus 2ar. And on the next step we get the consecutive terms, and while integrating 1 by u power 3 by 2 and 1 by u power 1 by 2, we will be using the previous integration where we did show that integral of 1 by root x is equal to 2 root x only when x doesn't tend to 0. When we use a condition here where the u should not tend to 0, in the integration 1 by u power 3 by 2 and 1 by u power 1 by 2, the substitution of u as a minus r the whole square should ensure that a doesn't tend to r. So we should include the condition a should not tend to r, that is, the distance of the point unit mass from the center of the earth should not tend to the radius of the earth or the radius of the sphere. So ultimately we get force acting on the unit mass, that is the acceleration due to gravity, is equal to gm by a square, where the a should not tend to r, that is the point mass should not touch the surface of the solid sphere, where the force could be very high, that could be infinite.